Hey guys, welcome aboard, Deppel here. Welcome back to P3D version 3.4. Today we're going to be taking a quick flight on the PMDG NGX 737-800 from Oslo, Norway to Stockholm, Sweden. I've just done the position in it and the rest is up to us, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going from Echo November Golf Mike to Echo Sierra Sierra Alpha. The route is fairly straightforward. That will be the Mass F intersection. Zulu 183 Airway to LTOC intersection. I'm not going to activate that just yet. Let's just go ahead and dial in the departure. The weather favors 19er left. And Massive 5 Charlie departure is what we're going to be using. So let's go ahead and activate the route. And let's do our performance initialization. Flight is fairly full today. Our zero fuel weight is 58.4 tons. Reserve fuel for today is about 1 ton. Coast index, I actually have no idea which coast index the airline uses in the real life, so let's do about 20. Our flight level today is flight level 290. Let's go ahead and activate that. Our cruise winds average about 340 degrees at 50 knots. Transition altitude is 7,000 feet. For departure, we'll be using a TO2D rated thrust with a 42 degrees assumed temperature. That should give us about 82% N1 and about 1,500 feet of runway to spare. We'll be using flaps 1 for departure. Let's see. Our center of gravity is 22.1. That'll give us trim setting of 5.47. Let's go ahead and set that up. Something around here, I would say. That's calculated our V speeds, V1 143, VR 144, and V2 of 147. It says unable to 130 knots at that first waypoint. That's actually weird. It says it has to be at 230 knots at the waypoint. It's maximum speed at that waypoint. So let me just go ahead and delete this restriction so it doesn't bother it. 184 knots it estimates. That sounds a little more realistic. We don't really need to set up any nav aids for this departure. It's purely RNAV departure. Okay, VT of 147. Set that up. Let's put on the flight directors. Initial climb clearance on this departure procedure is 7,000 feet. We'll set that up as well. And a runway heading of 193. We are pretty much good to go. Let's go ahead and run through the pre-flight checklist. Oxygen test at 100%, navigation transfer and display switches are normal and auto. Window heat is on. Pressurization mode selector is auto. Flight instruments showing heading 195, 195, and 195. Altimeter set to standard 1013. We should actually adjust the altimeter right away. And the current altimeter is 1019 hectopascals, set and cross-checked. Parking brake is set. Engine start levers are in cutoff. So let's go ahead and close the doors, remove the chocks. No indications here of the doors being open, so we're good to go on this side. Okay, we will be pushing back with the nose facing that way towards the runway. That would be facing east. Let's go ahead and prepare for engine start. Let's run through the overhead. Turn the fuel pumps on. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. We have the APU running. Okay, that looks normal. Seatbelt sign is on. Probe heat will turn on after start. Okay, that looks perfect. Engine bleeds coming on as well. Packs will turn off in a second. Pressurization panel is set. Let's put on the anti-collision light. Okay, distance, I'm not too sure. We'll just leave it at that. 90 degrees with the nose to the left. Right, let's run through before start checklist. Flight deck door closed and locked. We have about 3.7 tons of fuel. Passenger signs are on. Windows locked. MCPV2 147, heading 193, which is the runway heading, and an altitude of 7,000 feet. Our initial climb clearance is set. Takeoff speeds 143, 144, and 147. CDU pre-flight completed. Rudder and aileron trim free and 0. Taxi and takeoff briefing completed. And anti-collision light is on. We're good to start off the engine. Let's turn off the pack. And let's go ahead and start it up. Starting number 2. Okay, and 2 rising. Looking good. Let's put the fuel on. Monitoring EGT and 1 rising. Fuel flow is coming up as well. EGT rising and 1 rising. Looking good. Meanwhile, we're getting pushed a little bit too far. Let's go ahead and stop the pushback. This is fine right here. Okay. Let's put the parking brake on so we don't go anywhere. Okay, engine 2 is fired up. Start valve closed. Let's start number 1. Looking good. 2 good starts. Let's put the yaw damper on. This looks good. Looks good. Generators coming on. APU bleed going off. APU itself going off. Probe heat coming on. Hydraulic pumps coming on. Right, engine bleeds on. Cross isolation valve in auto. Packs turning on. Engine start switches going into continuous. Looking good up here. Engine brake RTO. And let's do the before taxi checklist. Generators on. Probe heat on. Anti-ice will not be required. Isolation valve auto. Engine start switches continues. Recall checked. Auto brake RTO. Engine start levers in idle detent. Flight controls. Let's go ahead and check that right away. Oops, there we go. And rudder. Flight controls looking good. Ground equipment is clear as far as I can tell. And we're good to taxi here. Let's release the parking brake. Set flaps 1. And we're good to go. Right, we're on taxiway Juliet. As far as I'm aware, we'll be going left onto taxiway Sierra. And taxi all the way to Bravo 9. Hold short there for departure of runway 19 left. Right, let's put the transponder on. Let's run through before takeoff checklist. Flaps 1 green light. Stabilizer trims 5.5 units set. Approximately. We're good to go here. Looks like this part of Norway is covered in snow already. Luckily, or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, it's not snowing here. It's not snowing in Stockholm either. It's fine weather in both cities. I gotta do a bad weather ILS approaches one of these days. I'm going to arm LNAV and VNAV before departure. Auto throttle should have been armed by now. Right. Approach clear. Runway clear. Put the lights on. Strobe lights on. Forgot to put on the taxiway light again. That's fine. Right. All set. Advance the throttles. Looking good. Toga. Take off. Push on the yoke a little bit. Let's maintain some forward pressure. Airspeed alive. Looks good. 80 knots.
V1. Rotate.
Rotate.
V2.
Off we go. Positive rate. Gear up. Right, follow the flight director here. More or less. There it goes into VNAV. And let's just go ahead and enable the autopilot at this point. Should have turned this off. Should have turned the MFD off. That's fine. Let's go flaps up. Landing gear into the off position. Auto brakes going off as well. Looking pretty. Okay, let's see what we got going here. Landing lights will turn off at this point. Engine start switch is going into the off position. And let's do the after takeoff checklist. Engine bleeds are still on. Packs are in auto. Landing gear up and off. Flaps up, no lights. Looking good. Let's set the cruise altitude on the MCP. We have accelerated to 250 knots. We can actually turn this back on now. It's usually turned off for takeoff. We're at 7,000 feet. Let's go into standard. 2992, crossing 7200, set cross checked. Perfect. The MFD is usually turned off for departure, just to reduce distraction, because all the important information is still displayed over here when it's turned off. Like this. Lots of snow around these parts already. Well, yeah, it's early December. I guess that's what you would expect. Days are short, days are cold. Let's start thinking about our arrival. It looks like runway 26 is in use at Stockholm Arlanda Airport. Set up ILS runway 26 and we'll use the LTOC 2 Victor RNAV arrival, which will get us right to the final approach fix of the ILS runway 26. So, LTOC, our final point on our flight plan, and the RNAV arrival procedure right here. Okay, let's set up some of the arrival issues here. Transition level will be 6,000 feet. Flight level 60 rather, sorry. And the altimeter is also 1019 over there. Oops, no, over here. Over here you go. Okay, for arrival we'll be using auto brake 2, we'll set that up shortly before descent. Auto brakes 2, which will give us about 1,500 feet of runway to spare once again. And flaps 30, I should have said that. We can also set up the winds for descent, just so it would plan the VNAV profile a little more accurately. At flight level 220, the winds are 341 at 42 knots. At flight level 110, the wind is 333 at 32. And at 5,000 feet, the wind is 303 degrees at 22 knots. Perfect. That'll help it calculate top of descent a little more accurately. And overall VNAV profile. Arrival time now moved to 9:59, which sounds a little more realistic now that we have the full arrival procedure set up. Okay, leveling off at flight level 290. Looks like full overcast down below. Not much to look at. Let's continue preparing for the arrival. Let's set up the ILS frequency for runway 26, which is 110.1. Set it up on this side as well. And approach course is 251. And 251 over here as well. Perfect. Alright, here we are, almost at top of descent, 15 miles to go. Let's reset MCP altitude all the way to 2,500 feet, which will be the beginning of our ILS approach. We'll set auto brakes 2, and let's set VREF, which will be 143, apparently, for flaps 30. Still overcast, little break in the clouds over there. Alright, almost crossing flight level 130. It's about time we run through the descent checklist, shall we? Let's see, pressurization, set landing altitude 150, which is roughly the airport's elevation. Recall, checked. Auto brake 2. VREF 143. Actually, let's reset it to 142 now, since it's updated. Minimums. I forgot to set that actually. 200 is fine for the ILS approach. And approach briefing has been completed. That's it for the descent checklist. And here we are right on schedule. Flight level 100 at 240 knots over the Sierra Alpha 911 fix on this arrival procedure. Just a little bit bumpy as we descend through the layer of clouds over here. And looks like we descended under a layer of pretty much overcast over here. Drag required. It's not able to keep up with the descent profile a little bit. Go ahead and get speed brakes going. Let's actually do vertical speed mode. Okay, we have descended below transition level. Let's go to altimeter 1019er. Set and cross check. We're just a tad too fast here. Let's go flaps 1. That'll help us slow down some more. Okay, let's go flaps 5. Just a tad fast, but I wanted to introduce a little more drag. Let's get rid of the speed brake. And let it slow down naturally here. Okay, let's arm the approach. Localizer's alive. Glide slope's been dancing around for a while now. Just about 10 miles from touchdown. And glide slope's alive. Let's go gear down. And flaps 15. Glide slope captured. Let's go flaps 30. Let's arm the speed brake. Put the engine start switches into continuous. Put the landing lights on, which I should have done at 10,000 feet, but this is just fine. Let's do the landing checklist. Engine start switches continuous. Speed brake armed. Landing gear down 3 green, flaps 30 green light. Looking good. Let me set up my PFD here. I like it nice and big for the approach. I want to see what I'm doing with the flight directors and whatnot. For instrument approaches, I like it up here. Sue me. Alright, let's go ahead and disable the autopilot and hand fly it the rest of the way in, shall we? Okay. I have control. I forgot to reset the MCP. And I did forget to reset the missed approach altitude, but I'm not going to reach for it now that I've disabled the autopilot. On localizer, on glide path. Looking good. Watch the speed. Dropping down just a dash. Looking good, looking good. Trust the flight director. It's there for a reason. But it's always good to practice road approaches as well, without using the flight directors, just relying on the signals from localizer and the glide slope. Okay, looking good. Runway in sight. Minimums landing.
Approaching minimums.
Why are you saying approaching minimums just now?
100.
Oh, it's doing the, okay.
Minimums.
Okay. Something wrong with the GPWS. It messed me up just a little bit. Okay, touchdown, reverse. $80 knots. 65. Manual braking. And off we go onto the high-speed taxiway over here. Perfect. Perfect. And we have a vehicle on the taxiway. Yeah, get out of my way, buddy. I ain't stopping. No, he's charging me now. He's going right at me. I don't care, bro. Do whatever you want. I'm going over you. Looks like we got some slush on the taxiway there. Please forgive the empty airports. I'm usually flying on VATSIM, so I have all traffic disabled. I have traffic packages installed, so I have all the airplanes, but I'm usually doing VATSIM flights, so I generally don't need any AI airplanes flying around. There it is, Stockholm, Orlando. I haven't missed my gate, have I? It's gate 44. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I have missed my taxiway. That's fine. That was our gate back there. Yeah, it's fine. Slow it down just a tad. The taxiway light off, so we don't blind anyone at the gate. All in just a little bit forward. That's fine. Put the parking brake on. And we're good to shut down here. And here we are. Alright guys, I'm gonna leave this video right here. If you want to chat, be sure to jump onto my Discord server, or you can just follow me on Twitter. The links are in the description. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. See you guys next time.